Good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to share with you the author journey. I think that's a bit close, isn't it? Goodness gracious, you'll be... Okay, well, I can't see now. That's it. I wanted to share with you a bit more about the author journey, particularly one that I've been on this last month or so. But also to actually address the issue of what a lot of people are going through at the moment when they're growing their business, because they've been told by PR companies, just write a book, let's get it out there, let's get you as an author, let's get an international best-selling campaign, and let's get you your email list sorted, These people have probably not written a book of any kind of substance if they're telling you to do that. They probably collated their emails or their top 10 tips, added a little bit of extra, or they've transcribed something and sent it off to someone to write it up for them. They have not gone on what I call the true depth of an author journey. And that's fine. That's where they are. That's what they do. And if you want to listen to those people, then go ahead and listen to them. And, you know, your book might make you some money, but is your book actually contributing to humanity and creating a legacy? And is it actually inspiring people with courage? Is it actually inspiring people with hope that they too can overcome or achieve or become the person that they want to be, or even escape a situation that they're in? It's becoming quite well known that I don't write and I don't publish books that have very little substance to them. I am the social justice publisher of choice. I raise consciousness and awareness to higher levels than most people would actually comprehend. And that's not me being arrogant, that's just me pretty much stating fact. And a lot of the people that work with me, their lives are everybody that works for me, their lives are transformed in one way or another. And the journey that I've been on, I'm actually in the process of re-editing my first two books. One book I wrote 10 years ago, one book I wrote 7 years ago. As an author strategist, I want to make sure that my books are the very best that they can be at every single point in my life. So that might mean revisiting some of my books at certain points and go, right, okay, these are selling really, really well in this country. They're doing really, really well in this country, but they're not doing so well in this country. Why is that? What do we need to do? What do we need to be aware of? Is it the cover? Is it some of the wording? Is it because it needs to be translated? Is it because of whatever it is? Or is the people in this country, do they have easier access to film and TV? So, okay, or is it audiobook that they need to listen to? So it's about looking at how we're positioning the book and what it is and what formats we're putting it out in. And for me, revisiting Friday Bridge and Wallahi, it's been very interesting. Now, a few weeks ago, I was asked, if you could say 3 words to your younger self, what would they be? My surname is Bates. I used to get called Batesy at school, a name I really didn't like. And I would say to my younger self, buckle up, Batesy, because it's been one hell of a ride. Those of you who have read any of my books, that you'll understand. Those of you who know me personally, you'll understand even more. Because this thing, there is a lot of stuff in my books. There is a lot of stuff that's private for a lot of people. But I don't share the truly deeply private stuff in the sense that I will put my dirty washing all over Facebook. I use elements of my life as a teaching model or a teaching method, or as a learning experience for others. Because I know from the messages I get from my readers that when I share those things, it gives them courage. It does give them hope. And some of the choices that people who follow me have made following reading my book or reading one of my posts, the choices they make in their life are very humbling. Because when they say that, because I read this in your book, because I'm seeing you do this, I now have the confidence and the courage to go after what I want, or to leave this abusive relationship, or actually start that business or start writing my book. And that's why we do what we do, the real authors amongst us. It's not because we want to get on lots and lots of podcasts. It's not because we want to have the job title. It's not because of whatever prestigious thing that people want to become authors for. It's so that we can make a difference in the world. And whether that is a moment for someone just to switch off from their own life and read about somebody else's, so they can pick up on their own parallels or their own, by not reading it in about their own life, all the wisdom bombs drop through, which transform their life, whether they're aware of it consciously immediately or it starts to percolate in their subconscious, or whether it doesn't actually hit them until a year or two later, like some of my readers. But me revisiting my book, my first book that I wrote 10 years ago, I've seen the growth I've had as a writer. I have noticed elements of my own healing journey that I've gone, well, I didn't actually put it in that book. Now it's time to put it in that book, to actually make that part of the book make more sense, to actually give the reader a much more enriching experience, to give the reader more clarity, to help my readers understand why the outcomes that I've had are the outcomes that I've had. And so they can understand that, you know what, I get it more than most people get it, i.e. that thing that we share. Not, oh, I get absolutely everything because I'm just so superhuman and I've experienced everything in the world and I get more than everybody. No, it's not that. It is just simply revisiting my book. I've seen, okay, well, I didn't finish off that train of thought. I didn't look at what the impact of just leaving the reader hanging had, or I didn't wrap that up nicely. So revisiting with my editor, we've been going through all of this and we've chosen to break the trilogy of Life Itself down into 4 books. And we're choosing to split the trilogy into Friday Bridge and Wallahi, so we've got a duo. And then we're going to split Crossing the Line into 2 books. We haven't even started on that book yet. But whilst I've been doing all of this in my own books, I've been supporting and coaching my own clients to go through a similar situation in their books. There's one particular chap who I've been working with, and I've sent his manuscript back to him 3 times, I think now, 2 or 3 times. And I've told him, I want you to get naked with yourself. I want you to get truly fucking naked and explain this part of your story. And I want to know about this part of your story. Because the thing is, it's such an amazing story and it's such a powerful story that if he doesn't share certain aspects of his journey, it's a disservice to the readers and it's a disservice to his book and to his journey. So I just got a little fly just on the top of my breasts and it tickled. Don't like bugs. Why am I where I am? There's lots of bugs. And this is the thing, when you write a book, when you work with me, we are going to go deep. And it will be the most transformational thing you've ever done in your life. Not just because it's with me, but because you're writing a proper book. And yes, I will hold you accountable. And yes, I will send it back to you and say, I'm not happy to publish this yet. Your book is not having my fire on its spine yet. If you want me to publish your book, it's got to be of a certain standard, which again is why I'm revisiting my books. Because are my previous books of a standard that I'm happy with? It's about us raising the game. It's about us raising the standard of literature that's out there. Because since self-publishing became a thing, there's a lot of literature trash out there. And it just Amazon has opened the floodgates to litter in the literature world. It's just there's some shocking bits of literature out there. They're not even literature. They're not. And yes, I am a literature snob. If you've listened to my episode of The Truth Serum with Julie Eason from Thanet Publishing, you'll have heard us talking about being book snobs and coffee snobs. And we own that about ourselves, but it's because we care so deeply about our craft. We care so deeply about those that work with us. And we actually really care about the people who are reading this stuff, that are investing, not just the people who are investing to work with us, to get their book published, to build a business around it, but also the people who are investing their money in buying the book and then spending the hours reading the book and wishing that they had got something that could have helped them. And it's all well and good having all these textbooks and all these business books out there, or all of these cheap thrill psychology books out there. But unless you know that that person has lived it, unless you know that person truly gets what it's like, how are you going to trust them? I'm not going to go to health ministers or take advice from a health minister who looks like they're about to die of a heart attack, are incredibly overweight, have got gluten allergies written all over their face, or some kind of food allergy written all over their face, has got a red bulbous nose from too much drinking of alcohol, look like they haven't had a night's sleep for God knows how long. I'm not going to take advice from that kind of health minister, because if that person was really, really worried about health, they'd get their own health in check first. They would know to set boundaries, because that's all about health. Health is not just the physical. Health is the emotional. Health is the mental. Health is the energetic and the spiritual alignment. Health is financial. And yes, the health ministers are living in their 3D world, and I'm somewhere off in the 7D world, in La La Land, as my mother used to call it. But that's why I get to be the publisher of choice for so many people around the world that have got powerful stories, because I get it. And I can elevate them from being in the 3D world through the 5D world and into 7D, because it's so necessary for the world and where we're heading. We have been punishing ourselves, and we have had so many people abusing us, from the top of government, those hidden behind the top of government, to families that are wounded. Where I am at the moment, you can't get around unless you're on a motorbike, like a scrambler or a quad bike, because the fine white powdery sand looks great in the holiday brochures and on Instafake, but they're not so great in a normal car. So when people go by, you hear lots of noise. So that's great. I used to think, when I used to be in the UK, that these people that had these big fat exhausts that wanted everyone to hear them play their music really loudly, it's like, did your parents not pay you enough attention? That you have to go out into the street and make that much noise just to get attention? Wounding, right? My judgment, but awareness, and the fact that people had to do that to get attention. The fact that people have to become an author to get attention. We're not doing it to get attention. Those of us who are doing it to serve, we are doing it to help other people heal themselves and know they're not alone in the world, and to make the world a better place. No one needs to know any more about ClickFunnels. I think Jeff Walker and Russell Brunson kind of clarified that. We might need a woman out there to make it a bit more feminine and less bro marketing, and I get that people have these opportunities that they want to share their knowledge, and there is enough out there for everybody. You only have to walk down the high street to see how many bloody hairdressers there are and how many restaurants there are, and all of them are still full. So there is plenty for everybody, and we all do get to share our journey and our skills, but how are we presenting them? Are we doing it as another top 10 tips and a how-to guide? Or are we doing it from, you know what, this is my passion. This is who I am as an individual, and this is why you should work with me. What's their story? What's your story? How did you get to be the person you are today? What have you had to overcome? Some of the most successful books from some of the most successful business owners are the ones where they've shared their own personal story on how to get to where they've got to, or how they've got to where they've got to. Gordon Ramsay's Humble Pie, incredible book. Sold the world over. Got people interested in cooking and eating better. And it also did his TV shows a lot better. Did their TV shows a lot better? Where's the English in that, Dawn Louise? See, I also correct my own grammar, but I don't do it silently. I do pull myself up on it. But again, that's why people trust me, because I call myself out on all of this. I've taught English, not just to 4 and 5-year-olds or 8 and 9-year-olds and 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds, but high-level business English to oil executives and some of the top 500 companies in the world. So I kind of know a bit about English. I know a lot about books, and my team that I have with, there's about 22 of us, and that's kind of a bit scary sometimes, that I have that many people on my team backing you, because they're not just backing me, they're backing you when you choose to work with me. Now, Friday Bridge and Wallahi will be released, I don't know when we've continued this editing journey. Crossing the Line will also be re-released at some point. That doesn't mean to say you can't go and buy them now, though. Just saying. And the thing is, as a writer, sometimes our plans get knocked around. Some of my clients should have finished their books by now. And so what has happened is my books have been delayed. So those of you who are waiting for Alpha, the 4th book in the Sacral series, she's coming. She's being birthed. I am in the first trimester. I've actually been in the second trimester for a while, but she's coming. The Digital Nomad book, also coming along, but there's about 5 chapters left of that book, and I've been sabotaging myself with this book, and I will let you know why. Because this book, I have loved writing it so much. Like, I don't want the book to end. And those of you who read books and actually go, oh, I really want to read it, but I can't read anymore, because if I read anymore, it's going to finish. I did that with Bleak House by Charles Dickens, because I grew up in the Wolds. And how he described it was exactly how I envisaged it and how I experienced it. Not just modern day, but past life. And, I didn't want the book to end. I was so in love with it. And that's how I'm so in love with The Digital Nomad, being a digital nomad. The first book in the Mermaid's Guide series. And just to let you know, that is a Banksy mermaid. That's not a Disney mermaid. Really don't like Disney. Really do not like Disney. But I am so in love with The Mermaid's Guide to being a digital nomad that I have been self-sabotaging. So all of you who are waiting for it, just know it is coming. It is coming, I promise. So, lots going on at Dawn Publishing. The 7-week author course with me is also about to be relaunched with a new look and feel, new price point as well, to make it more accessible to all of you out there who want to write and want to get published by me. It is going to be a prerequisite to working with me on a one-to-one basis, because you need to know it, because then we can get going. You need to know the stuff that's in there so that we can get going on your publishing process, because I'm getting more and more inquiries for people to publish with me. And I'm having to be really, really selective with who works with me on a one-to-one. And I want to serve as many of you as possible. So we are making the 7-week author course. We're taking it away from the one-on-one coaching, and we are making it available to you offline. so that you can work through it at your pace. 7 weeks, start to finish. You should have a book written within 7 weeks. I've got a lady who started it 2 days ago. She's already smashed through 13,000 words in a day because I've unlocked whatever it was that was in her that was stopping her. She's doing the 7-week author course in 7 days. Amazing. So impressed. I love that kind of client. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of my courses now will be a precursor to work with me on a one-to-one. When I know that you've done the 7-week author course, I know, and depending on how quickly you've done it and how much work you have got towards the end, will depend on whether we work together on a one-to-one. There will be some of you who will not have to do one of my courses to work with me. You will be some of the very special people. So if you're special and you want to work with me on a one-to-one, just let me know. There are lots of resources on dawnbates.com, which is also having a makeover. There's lots going on at the moment. You have got writers unblock sessions. You have got product spectrums. You have got vision creations. There is everything on there that you need to create a very abundant author life. Or for those of you who are not ready to write your book, but you want to build your business ready for you to then write your book and then launch, there's business building products in there. Just go to dawnbates.com and see what's available to you. And if there is a price point, there's a product on there that you really want to do, but the price point is not what you want it to be, then there is also another option. There is always options available when you work with me. Always. We always make something work. Really, seriously. I know what it is. There's a house on the beach just around the corner. We had quite a high tide the other night. And this road is really normally very quiet. But we had a house on the beach the other night. The high tide came up and the foundations of this house, I shouldn't really be annoyed with this then, should I? The foundations of this house have pretty much collapsed. So, yeah, it got a bit of a hammering. North Atlantic winds, well, equatorial winds, when they come up, when you've got the trade winds from the south, with the high tide, not a good combination, especially with the sand as it is. I hope we get the house sorted. It's a village thing. That's what we're all doing at the moment. Well, I'm not. I'm writing books, but I'm cheering them on. Sending love, and there's nothing I can do. I have no idea about construction. Don't ask me how to build a house. I can renovate a house, but I haven't built one yet. Would love to. One day when I stop sailing. I'm waffling now. I don't really care, but I am going to be respectful of your time, and I'm going to go and have breakfast. So have a really great day. If you want to work with me, send me an email via the website. Go to dawnbates.com/contact. Gotta love this life. There are lots of things on the website for you to have a look at. There's a podcast, The Truth Serum is being launched next month. Oh, that's being launched in about 2 weeks, I think. That's a month late. But, you know, is anything ever really late? No. All in divine timing. Things get released when they get released. So sending you all lots of love. If you want to work with me, go to the website, reach out to me that way. Reach out to me on social media at Real Dawn Bates, on Instagram and on Bookface, and on LinkedIn. I think linkedin.com/in/Dawn Bates, I think. And the YouTube channel is about to go live as well, with lots and lots of content that I've been creating over the years but done nothing with it. So you're going to have some very different coloured hair, and you're going to have a whole journey, and there's lots of great content on there. And for those ladies amongst us that wish to become very preeminent, You can follow all of my articles in the House of Preeminence magazine. That is also on Instagram, House of Preeminence. You can also get subscribed to the magazine by going to jenny-p.com/magazine, and that is Jenny with an I, not with a Y. And MSP News Global. My articles go up on there at the beginning of every single month as well. So yes, lots of you can get access to me wherever you need to, except you're not allowed to know where I am, because I don't like people knowing where I am, because my private life is private. Much love to you all. Ciao, ciao.